Ann Jeffries as Marion Kirby, the ghostess with the mostess. Robert Sterling as George Kirby, that most sporty spirit. And Leo G. Carroll, host to said ghosts, as Topper.
Silly-looking grip, isn't he?
Yeah. Hand him up to me, will you?
Where are you going to hang him?
Right there.
Too high.
Here is the spot.
Don't tell me what to do.
I wouldn't dream of it, Cosmo. But would you like to tell me what you're doing?
I'm trying to hang Uncle Jeremiah.
Why don't you let Mr. Doolittle do it?
Henrietta, I believe that if you can do a thing yourself, you should do it yourself.
Just as you say, dear. What branch was he in, Cosmo?
Supply.
A spy. Fancy that, and he has such an honest face.
Ouch! You hit my finger.
Serves you right.
Why, Cosmo.
Sorry, dear. Hand me up that portrait, will you?
Yeah. I do wish you'd get off that ladder.
Not straight. Move it to the left.
Look out, Cosmo! Oh, look out, Cosmo!
George, if you were alive, I'd kill you.
George! Cosmo, it's me, Henrietta. Are you terribly hurt?
Oh, dear. My other leg.
You're sitting on
it. Cosmo, do you know who I am?
Of course I know who you are. Oh, my leg.
Oh.
Quick, the insurance policy. Topper, you'll collect a fortune.
How do you know?
How do I know what? Who I am? I'd better phone for Dr. Fisher. Force down a little brandy, dear. They say it's good for an accident.
Henrietta, don't call Dr. Fisher. I'll be all right.
What are you talking about? Why, you have a compound fracture of the leg. Well, that's worth $3,000. A double concussion of the brain? Well, that's $4,000. With possible multiple internal injuries worth at least $5,000.
Goody, let's celebrate.
If he needed an excuse.
Well, you'll need at least 3 specialists, a day and night nurse, and we won't settle for less than $15,000.
Settle with whom?
Why, the Assured Insurance Company, of course.
Just listen to good old George, Toppy. He'll have you back on your back in no time.
Certain. That granulated gam is money in the bank.
Oh, I suppose the gam isn't granulated. See? I can walk.
This is no time to be Spartan. Tell me, how does the arm feel?
Well, seems all right.
Not too bad. You know, an arm and a leg is an awfully good parlay.
I tell you, my arm is fine.
We can twist it.
Look here, I have no intention of collecting anything from the Assured Insurance Company to which I'm not entitled.
But you are entitled to it. The company expects you to collect. Why, they can't afford to take this to court.
George, what would we need to get me a white mink stole?
See, chair. Well, an ordinary twisted knee would do it.
Topper, darling.
Now, look here, you're insane. I'm not going to twist my knee just to keep your neck warm, Mrs. Kirby.
He's a dandy when he drinks brandy.
Isn't it? He tease. He thinks he's seeing a pink bear. Now, maybe you'll get your white mink stole.
Cosmo! Dr. Fisher will be right over. Why, Cosmo! What happened this time?
The rug flew out from under me.
That's fantastic. Polar bears don't fly.
Well, it wasn't a bear. It was a dog. A dead, drunk St. Bernard.
Cosmo, I think you're delirious. Oh, dear, I wish I knew what to do.
Tell her to notify the insurance company.
I will not notify the insurance company.
No, you don't have to, dear. I'll do it by myself.
patient this morning?
I'm feeling fine. Take off these restraints.
Well, can we trust you? Suppose you decide to jump out of bed just when the claim adjuster arrives.
I've been in bed 3 days now, and there's been no sign of a claim adjuster.
They always save their big cases until last.
This is only because we're going to put you in traction later.
Well, you'll do nothing of the kind. I should be up now, seeing how Mr. Doolittle's getting on. This is his day off, and he's plastering the cellar.
If there's anything plastered around here, Neil will inspect it.
George and I have worked so hard on this case. We simply have to take a trip to Bermuda when you get your settlement.
And Henrietta is planning on a polar trip to Denmark.
Wonderful. We've always wanted to go to Bermuda via the North Pole.
Well, seeing this is my accident, it would be polite to consult me as to where I want to go.
Oh, no. You won't be well enough. This thing has to look legitimate, you know.
The Assured Insurance Company, no doubt.
Hello? Oh, Mr. Schuyler, yes, thank you. I'm getting along fine. Slowly but surely, you know.
Well, in that case, I wonder if you could come down to the office for a little while this afternoon.
Come down to the office. Well, I don't know.
You see, it's about this big new account we may get. A new firm in town. Something right up your alley. There's a big bonus in it, you know.
Oh, for me?
For me. You better get right down here. And we might forget about all the time you've taken out.
They need me at the bank.
We need you here. Suppose the claim adjuster arrives. What will I tell him?
Tell him I got well. And that the dilatory practices of his company make me sick.
And after this lovely chart I've made out for you. Patient spent a restless night. Temperature 56. Pulse 21. Chain Stokes breathing. Slightly delirious and evidences of catatonic myxedema.
What's catatonic myxedema?
I haven't the slightest idea. I read it in a medical book.
It sounded so fatal.
Ah, Topper, my boy. Glad you could make it.
I had to dodge Henrietta. She'd be very angry if she knew I was out of bed.
You look perfectly healthy to me. This is T.S. Guilford.
How do you do?
Mr. Guilford's company is establishing regional headquarters here. And I'm violating no confidence in saying that the bank that gets the firm's account is tying up with $100 million outfit.
Looks like you're going to get it all right. That is, if Mr. Topper here can straighten out a few minor points.
Precisely why I got out of a sickbed to come here, Mr. Guilford. But you haven't told me the name of your firm yet.
I thought you knew, Topper. The Assured Insurance Company.
Assured Insurance?
How do you like that?
I don't like it.
What?
I don't like it the way I don't like $1 million. A figure of speech, you know.
Well, you know our company, of course.
Of course. In fact, I carry my own insurance with Assured.
That's a good start. Makes you two sort of fellow alumni.
This is a good guy for you to tackle, Topper. Ask him what happened to the claim adjuster.
I wish you'd stay out of this.
Oh, very well, Topper, but I think you'll find that you're going to need me.
I wish you'd get out, too.
Topper's recovering from an illness, Mr. Guilford.
An accident. And we won't settle for less than...
Quite an illness.
Yes. Well, what I'm really interested in is your legal department.
Oh, we have the finest.
Good. You see, too many people have been trying to collect for non-existent injuries.
That's what you get for tying up with a cheap outfit.
So from now on, we intend to make an example of anyone we catch trying to defraud our company.
Mr. Guilford, suppose a man thought that he was injured and filed a claim, and it developed that there was nothing the matter with him. What would you feel about that?
Open and shut. The very fact that he filed a claim indicates an intention to defraud.
I see.
Mr. Guilford, you can be sure that we'll stand shoulder to shoulder with you in ferreting out these insurance frauds. Eh, Topper?
Yes.
We'll throw them all in jail, every last one of them.
Maybe I'd better have another look at the policy, huh?
Topper, you do look ill.
No, I'm feeling fine. I've never felt better in my whole life.
You know, I bet I've gained at least 10 pounds trying to find the 5 chocolates in this box filled with brandy, Neil. No way to go on the water wagon. You ought to join Alcoholics Anonymous. The 3 A's, Neil. Alcoholics Anonymous for animals. Hello, darling. What's cooking?
Looks as if Topper is. His insurance company has suddenly decided to crack down on anyone they think is making a false claim.
Oh, George. Neil, stop that. Topper's in trouble.
They may make a horrible example of Topper. Who can that be?
Oh, maybe it's that claim adjuster.
You mustn't say such things. Does Henrietta know that Topper went downtown?
It's Maggie's day off, and she's been in the kitchen all morning fixing his lunch.
Wow, that really is an accident.
Double indemnity for tow lane.
Oh, I'm Burton Brown. I'm from the Assured Insurance Company. My card.
What did I tell you?
If he goes upstairs and doesn't find Topper in bed, he'll know he's been faking.
Oh, did you bring the money for Mr. Topper's claim?
Well, I'll have to see Mr. Topper first before paying any claim.
Well, he's right upstairs. If you wait a minute, you can take his lunch up. That'll save me a trip.
Certainly, Mrs. Topper. Do you mind if I use your phone?
Not at all. Right
Thank
this
you.
way.
Quick, George, think of something.
I have. All we have to do is to get someone to take Topper's place in bed.
Yeah, but who can take his place?
My guess.
Easy, George.
Just a gentle tap.
Now, if you'll take that up to him, then I'll bring him his dessert. Pineapple inside-out cake. Or is it upside down?
Yeah, how do you do?
Where am I?
At home, of course, Mr. Topper.
Mr. Topper.
Come now, Mr. Topper. Don't tell me you're delirious.
I had an accident.
I know. 3 days ago.
3 days! Oh.
Delirium. Either real or simulated. Looks good. Yeah, we'll soon know.
You bet we will.
I wonder if he's insured.
If he is, we'll have to get his house.
This ought to mix them up for real.
Well, Mr. Brown, how is my husband?
Oh, I'm not sure. In fact, I'm not sure about myself. I'm not sure about anything.
Why, Cosmo, what's happened? You don't look at all like yourself.
I don't feel like it either.
Mr. Doolittle, what have you done to Mr. Tupper?
Funny, I was going to ask you what he's done to me. Where are my clothes?
I haven't the slightest idea. I'm sure I didn't take them. And I demand you get out of my husband's bed and find my husband.
Get him moving, George.
Aren't we being a bit informal?
This house is horses.
Of course it is. I thought you knew.
Thank goodness you're back.
Now, what have you two been up to here?
Oh, what makes you say that?
I just saw Mr. Doolittle wandering around in his pajamas.
Pajamas?
Come on, out with it. What have you done?
Well, Topper, the claim adjuster was here. We had to show him something.
So you put Mr. Doolittle in my bed, eh?
Well, you heard what the man said down at your office. If he'd found you weren't there, he'd have known you were faking.
We did it to save you.
Well, what happens if that claim adjuster returns?
Doolittle goes back to bed.
Well, suppose he doesn't want to.
He didn't want to the first time.
Topper,
Mr. Schuyler, this is an unexpected pleasure.
it isn't for me. I don't know what you've done, but Guilford is terribly upset. It seems he's just seen one of his claim adjusters.
Oh, yes. Yeah, a little matter between me and the insurance company. Slight accident.
A major accident. Now Guilford is fit to be tied. He's out there in the car now. Let me remind you that this assured account is one of the largest we've ever negotiated for. So you'd better have a satisfactory explanation.
Yes, I suppose I'd better.
Yeah.
Well, I'm waiting for it.
Looks like curtains, Topper.
But it was you who did it all.
Me?
That kind of an attitude will get you nowhere, Topper.
Mr. Topper, my claim adjuster reports that when he came here, he found you delirious with a temperature fluctuating between raging fever and frostbite. Yet shortly thereafter, you appeared in your office and carried on a perfectly normal business conference with me.
Well, it wasn't shortly thereafter. It was at the same time.
What?
If you check with your adjuster, you'll find that that's true.
Very well, I will. Mr. Brown, will you come in here, please? Now then, Mr. Brown, tell us exactly in what condition did you find Mr. Topper?
Well, he looked like he does now. Only he shouldn't be walking around in his pajamas.
What?
How do you feel, Mr. Topper?
If you're talking to me, I feel terrible. And my name is not Mr. Topper.
Then what were you doing in his bed?
You'll have to ask Mr. Topper that.
Oh, are these the men from the insurance company to pay your claim, dear?
Well, they're from the insurance company, all right.
All right, Mr. Topper, we're waiting.
Well, you see, it's this way. Besides Henrietta and me, there are a couple of ghosts living here. George and Marion Kirby. A very charming young couple, but a bit irresponsible at times.
A couple of ghosts. Now I've heard everything.
Not quite. Also, they have a ghost dog, a Saint Bernard, who drinks.
He still insists, does he?
He's never stopped.
Are you trying to tell me that a couple of ghosts put that man in your bed?
Just as sure as their dog pulled that rug out from underneath my feet. That very rug you're standing on.
Mr. Topper, if you can convince me that a ghost dog pulled this rug out from under your feet, I'll be delighted to hand over my company's account to you.
We're in, Topper. Neil! Do your stuff, boy.
What happened?
Do we get the account, sir?
You certainly do.
Are you hurt, sir?
I certainly am. A twisted knee. Look up my insurance policy and see how much the company owes me.
Topper, how did you do it? I mean, make that rug fly.
It's simple. It's a bear skin.
Well, I assure you, Mr. Schuyler, my answer would sound just as silly.
Come on, Marion. Let's go, Neil. Take your rug with you.
Uncle Jeremiah, I should have left you in the attic. George! Marion! Henrietta! I've had an accident.
It won't do any good, Topper. The insurance companies are on to your kind.
A John W. Lupton, Bernard L. Schubert production. Produced by John W. Lupton. Starring Ann Jeffries, Robert Sterling, and Leo G. Carroll.